Ink engaged.
So you know what? Before we get too far into this orb, we have some people to thank. These accounts that are being used have actually been donated. Do you have the name?
Yeah, they are Mata, M-A-T-A, and Chucat, C-H-U-C-A-T. So huge thanks to those guys for donating some EU accounts for the TL admins to be able to use to, of course, OBS and be the referees on this game. So very much thanks to you guys to being allowing us to do this tournament with a little more ease than we might have had.
If they didn't know it already, they are actually awesome human beings, as is established of this moment. So, Blue Protoss warping in at the left side of Shakira's plateau, in the green Zerg morphing in at the right lower location. I guess I just said left side, but what I meant to say is like 8 o'clock position and 5 o'clock position for the Zerg. Any quick notes about this map? Any kind of analysis you have?
Of course, you got to pay attention to the destructible rocks behind the base. You do have to go through 2 to get through, but it really creates a lot of opportunity for backdoors from the Zerg. I really think every Zerg player should just, with the increased mobility your army has over the Protoss army, you should absolutely be breaking these rocks, even if you don't plan on using it. Keep an Overlord back there to scout, and then if the Protoss comes, you can get your army back in time. Whereas if the Protoss tries to attack you, you can just run into the back of their base. So these side spawns, I think, are really not going to favor the Protoss as opposed to cross spawns.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of big notes on this map, though, is this is considered one of the big macro maps, both in size, but also just in sheer number of expansions, and just kind of, it encourages macro play. So I feel like this map is really good for strong, early macro, building up from the Zerg, lots of drones, less units, and then likewise for the Protoss player, they can kind of skimp, usually 1 gas, 1 gate expand, or even 2 gas, but just with fewer units, so you're just kind of more urgently getting to that expansion point in your game. And that's just an option. Obviously there's no rules, so we do have that Overlord taking a peek.
Yeah, of course, as there are no rules, but the way that the map is laid out, of course, just kind of, it arches out from each base vertically and allows you to get up to 4 bases without, going anywhere near your opponent fairly easily. And, if you, even on just 2 base, it's really easy to take that natural, because not only do you go down a ramp to your natural, but your natural then goes down a ramp to the main middle of the map. And that just really helps you defend. It helps you just place force fields on that ramp to block off units and just have that extra vision. So your opponent has to walk up into something they don't see unless they have like an Overlord there. I think that just really helps the macro aspect of this map. We do have a second gas, for instance, here.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily indicate that he's going to do anything different. I mean, last game, of course, had that Overlord not been there, we would have seen a fast Twilight Council. So he did have other things in mind, at least at the beginning of the game. So perhaps that second gas is an indication of a repeat performance without being rudely interrupted by a fat glob in the sky. But perhaps he just 3 gates expand as well. That's kind of the standard cookie cutter opening on this map. You have a Stalker and a Zealot making their way over to go see their Zerg neighbor. Spinecrawler has been started. He does have 2 Lings standing sentry, but that's not going to be enough. So a little bit of harass opening up here.
Yeah, I think this early harass is extremely standard in the PvZ matchup. You really need to use those early Stalkers before Zerg gets Zergling speed, just to try to harass. But, I mean, that quick Spinecrawler was actually a pretty nice move. I mean, you do lose that drone, but usually this type of harass ends up forcing the Zerg to waste way more larvae than that one Spinecrawler would, just to defend against Stalkers, because you have to make quite a lot of Zerglings to get around them and surround. And just making one, well, he is making a second Spinecrawler, but if he had just made 1 to stop that Stalker, I think, and then just drone pump, that would have been a really nice move.
Yeah, I mean, I echo that sentiment exactly. And we do have an earlier creep tumor going down, so it looks like sYz is just being a little less forceful with his aggression this game and opting more for the macro play. He did get metabolic boost upgrade, and we are now waiting to see if he's going to start that layer. A third Spinecrawler going down. This could... Why is this?
I'm not sure, but we do actually see Blink halfway done for Insolence being chrono boosted. So it seems just going to be going for a Blink Stalker build on this map, 3-gate Blink Stalkers. And judging by that placement, it looks like maybe he's going to blink over the destructible rocks and go into the back door of the Zerg's base.
I think, I don't know, I haven't tested this, but I think he might be able to Did they fix it on this map? Can he see up
I
there and just
am not
blink, or does he have to
sure.
kill it?
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I mean,
We
in
do have
either
a fourth
case,
gateway going now. Wow.
yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to micro those stalkers, and what the blink allows him to do, effectively be in places the spine crawlers are not. So, I mean, even if he picks them up and moves them to the main, he'll simply just blink over to the natural and harass there. So, this is a bit of an all-in the sense that he's not probably planning on falling back on a macro game here. But as I say that, okay, no. So they do have to destroy the structural rocks. They are starting that process now. Spine crawlers are picking up and moving over there, but again, it's the mobility of these blink stalkers that make them such a threat.
Yeah, I think this is why spine crawlers are really just not a good choice as opposed to going straight for some other units. One spine crawler to stop the early stalker, that's fine. Making 3 this early, they're not going to be able to deal with this. The stalkers can blink right up to that base, right above where they are now, and just walk to the natural very quickly. Here they come. He's got to be very careful micro with these stalkers. He needs to be microing them one at a time rather than groups like that. Now he's losing quite a lot of them.
Yeah, he's actually just going to go ahead and straight up stand up fight with these Zerglings. A few good blinks, and he actually was taking some hits on the spine crawlers as well. So a bit of a brute force version of the blink stalkers we're used to seeing. Here they go, moving up again, just trying to pick off those spine crawlers. Zerglings moving in to intercept. The lair is being started for the Zerg player. He does have pretty good saturation across the board, so it looks like he's in good position to handle this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that he's on 2 base now with good saturation means you should have absolutely no problems. Once you get enough speedlings, blink stalkers just become not that effective.
As we say that, they're tearing the crap out of these Zerglings, and one spine crawler is down. He's not really moving the other 2. I don't think sYz is taking this serious, but of course neither are the commentators, so who can fault him, right? Because we're really smart. These stalkers are wounded. There's 4 in the deep red, 1 in the orange. That said, though, the defenses for sYz is, again, not really taking this serious. They're moving up. Spine crawler does go down. Zerglings moving into surround.
That ramp is not where you want to fight blink stalkers. Not at all. You're never going to get a stalker kill there.
And the stalkers
actually,
have made themselves known. Yep. They're moving up. Queen's gonna go down. Oh, she does go down. She gets one last injection off. Zerglings moving around the ramp once again, playing a key role here.
Yeah, I don't know what sYz is planning on doing right now. He's just kind of doing the same thing over and over, and it's not... I mean, it's kind of working. He's kind of winning numbers a little bit, but they're being rebuilt way too fast, way faster than he's killing them. He needs to get something a little bit more effective than these Zerglings out here, or a little bit better positioning.
You're absolutely right. I mean, he just keeps using that ramp as like the channel of which he can narrow down the Zerglings' attack radius and go ahead picking them off at more of an effective exchange. And the Protoss not expanding, not building probes. He's got 100 energy on that Nexus. Oh. This is it. I mean, he's got to do it now.
That blink was the moment. Zerg did not have enough Zerglings, but that was the moment to attack. In that, Insolence put himself in a relatively bad position where he could flank from both sides, and he had already used the blink cooldown. But it looks like Zerg's going to try to counter.
That's terrible. They're going to blink back and defend forever,
yeah, absolutely.
Man. Oh, such a bad choice.
It looks like this lair might be taken out by these stalkers. Awful position for the Zerg at this point.
Yeah, he can't make any more Zerglings. I mean, he can just now start to make Hydras. Again, excellent position for these stalkers, getting good exchanges with these Zerglings. Spine crawlers are trying to go down to contribute, but they're just too slow, scratching an itch in the ground to get inside there. Meanwhile, more stalkers are being brought over.
We do have a Hydra stand that finished before the lair finished, but there's the GG. He looks like he's not going to be able to rely on those Hydras. Instead, is going to assume that he is too far behind, which is interesting because it still was just 1 base to 1 base. I'm really surprised he just left the game. I guess he figured he wouldn't be able to hold off those stalkers because it is quite a large number of them.
He picked up his spine crawlers. I mean, he lost everything. He kept making lings. It was very much so over. I mean, I'm always a fan of sticking it out and trying to fight it out, at least while I'm spectating, because I feel like people should die in front of me. But that was just... I've never seen such a bull-headed approach to blink stalkers. Usually it's so dainty and like micro-oriented, but he wanted to kill. It was German efficiency there. Every time he started fighting, he just blinked back to that ramp and was totally fine with fighting there.